Class summary assignments, a new way to target key learning areas for your students. Here's a scenario. You're using PersonalFinanceLab's lesson library and your students have been completing some quizzes in your class. Now you want to know where your class is struggling so you know what to emphasize next week. So what stuff are they getting right, what stuff are they getting wrong for the whole class? How can you quickly pinpoint areas of confusion? This is why we created the new assignment class summaries, a quick and simple way for you to identify where your class needs more attention. The way it works is that this tool lets you see summaries of the reports for your class quizzes. So if all of your students have completed a quiz on the what is a stock article, for example, you'll be able to see as a whole which of the questions they're getting right and wrong. This lets you quickly and easily see where they're struggling, and then from there you can deep dive into individual questions from each quiz to see how well they're doing. Let's see exactly how we can do this on the website. So here I am, and I'm logged in with my teacher account. To see this, I want to go to my View Assignments page. To find that, you'd go under Reports at the top, and then under Assignments, View Class Progress Reports. That takes you to this View Assignments page. Here, for every lesson that you have that includes a quiz, you'll see a group progress average, the amount of time taken, and the grade average of your class. So I can see right here that as a whole, I only have 18% of my students have completed this quiz so far. On average, they've only taken 5 seconds, which makes sense because I was just doing this as a test. But you can see which of your individual quizzes students are really taking a lot more time on than others, taking the entire class into account. And the grade average is what's the average grade of your entire class. Because only 18% of my students have taken this, the average grade is quite low. But from here, I can actually dive in to see for each question in this quiz, what are my students getting right and wrong? So when I click Details, I get a new pop-up that shows exactly how they're doing each question. So for example, what does the stock represent? I see most students are getting this incorrect. Almost all of them are saying something other than the correct answer, which you see highlighted here. But what is a preferred stock? They're getting that right. What is an IPO? Most students got that right, one got it wrong. Most of them are getting the outstanding shares, and it looks like we're also having some struggles on the where stocks first created. So as a teacher, you can decide, okay, maybe I don't necessarily need all my students to know where the stocks were last created. That's not going to be on the final exam. But it is very important for them to know what a stock represents. So the next week, you're going to want to emphasize that a stock is a percentage of ownership of a company, including profits and assets. That way it gives you a lot more focus on how you want to handle your class in the future. Now, if you want to see the individual progress of each student, you can do that from the progress report. To get the progress report, you can go under Reports on the main menu and go to Student Progress Reports. This will show you every student in your class and what they've done for each of the tasks that you required of them. So for example, for this student, when I click Details, I can see that they finished the What is a Stock article, they got a 60% grade, and if I click View, I can see what exactly they asked, or what exactly they picked for each of the questions on that quiz. So if you have one student in particular you want to really deep dive in, you can do it as well here. If your class allows retries for quiz questions, on the individual student report you'll be able to see each of their attempts, and on the class summary report it's based on their most recent attempt. Some things to keep in mind with the class summary is that the class percentages include all of the students, even the students who didn't take the quiz yet. That's why it looked like my class's grade was so low. It's because only 3 of my 10 students have actually taken the quiz. If you allow retries on your quizzes, the summaries always are based on the students' last attempts. So this can be important because their last attempt may or may not have been their best grade. Unfortunately, class summary data cannot be exported. However, your student class progress reports showing each individual student's grades on all of the quizzes, that can be exported. But to see each individual student's response on each individual quiz, again, that cannot be exported. So basically, depending on how complex it is, you'll be able to see it on the site, or you'll be able to export it for all of your students. Happy learning! And if you have any other questions about how the assignment reports work, you can contact our support team at support@PersonalFinanceLab.com or use the live chat that's part of every page.